bad if I'm squinting a lot because it's so bright out here, but I thought I'd show you guys a little history about this building, how the outside looks. You can see right here how it looks. Out here in Oak Park. So to show you guys around the building a little bit, the studio is actually going to be on the top floor of this theater. And it's crazy how much history is in this theater, honestly. And we just built the studio like 2 years ago, and we had a lot planned. It actually used to be, let's see if you can see this, right over there, where the old projector used to be, you know, with those big old film reels and stuff. It was pretty sick seeing all that. Fortunately, we had to take it out to make room for the studio. I'll walk you guys up there, see how everything looks. Here we are. At the studio. And here's the windows where the old projector used to beam out of. Has some big old reels. I'll pull up those pictures right now. So yeah, a lot of history in this room. So where do I start? Let's start with the desk. Here we got the output desk, which is a really solid desk, nice and wide, has a lot of analog gear racks here. Things built really well, super solid, and it has a slide out drawer for the piano. And right here we got the Roland F806 synthesizer piano, which we mostly use it as a MIDI, but you can if you want. Mess with all the synth stuff. It has some pretty sick sounds on there, honestly. Then we got the big boy right here, the good old Mac, I believe it's 2020 or 21 cheese grater. This thing got a lot of horses. Let me check what specs we got on it real quick. 32 gigs of RAM with 8-core Intel Xeon, which is pretty fire. 2019. Perfect. So going over a little quick gear list before we get into the computer. We got the Ableton Push 2 right here. This thing is a powerhouse of a machine. We got the Audient Nero monitor controller, and I honestly really love this monitor controller. How the ease of use is, and how you can assign whatever section you want to whatever source you want, basically. So it's basically a digital controller, but at the same time, I don't know if you can hear this. Well, let me turn it on. It's mostly analog because there's actual relays inside of their switching. Here, take a listen. That little clicking sound is a relay switching back and forth. And this monitor controller is really clean. Has a dope indicator right here. Got the dim, that standard stuff on monitor controllers. And it also has a sub output, which I love. Mono switching, polarity, 3 different monitor selection. Then over here we got some of my favorite gear, honestly. I have this at my home studio, Soft Tube Console 1. I love this thing for what it does and how it sounds. It really gives a lot of analog saturation and warmth to mixing. And everybody talks about, the reason why I bought it is everybody talks about the drive, the saturation that it gives. You can go from second to third harmonics, which is tube, and the other one is going to be transformer harmonics, which is a more brittle sound, but I usually lean to the left of the tube. On the lineup, we got the gate, EQ, compressor, and you can model almost any console you want. SSL 4000, SSL 9000, they got ELI ones, like the distressor type. Then we got the Soft Tube Console 1 fader. This thing's a fully automated fader. You can do right automation with this. You could basically mix a whole song with just these 2 things here. And it's really easy to use. The graphic interface is dope. And they're always constantly updating it and uploading new consoles. I love mixing on this. I love mixing live audio because it relates to using an actual console and listening with your ears. It really helps you to pay attention with your ears rather than your eyes looking at graphic visuals and stuff like that. All right, so for power, we got the two Furmans here. One controlling monitors and stuff like that, another one controlling mostly the analog gear and the computer. And for some preamps, we got the Warm Audio Tone Beast. This thing sounds legit. You do vintage clean, change the capacitors, tone, then you know, gain the saturation if you want to pump it in or keep it minimal. Steel and nickel transformers. Under that, we've got our Apollo 8 XP and Apollo satellite holding a lot of our Apollo plugins. And this guy right here. This actually came with the package when we bought this, or if it was a lot cheaper if you bought them together or something like that. But this preamp sounds legit. The saturation on this is incredible, and just plugging straight into this alone is legit. And the A to D converters on these are brilliant. They have a super wide spatial sound compared to my audio at home. Even when I come here, I notice that the clarity and depth of mixing on this is definitely a lot better than a cheaper one. And so of course we're going from the Apollo to the Nero, and the Nero does not really add any noise at all, which is important in your monitor controller. If it has any noise in it, it's affecting what you're hearing, which is a big no-no. So going to monitors, we got these are the Atom A7Xs, and these are some of my favorite monitors in this price range. After I heard these in the studio, I went and bought them for my own. I recommended them to others, and they bought them as well once I heard them. These things translate so well, and I love the front switching and volume control in the front. Almost a lot of monitors don't even have that. What you think is a simple thing, but I guess apparently it's not. Then we got, what's this? Yamaha Hs5s, which is a common monitor. It's more mid-range focused. Helps you translate your mixes better when you have two monitors, but we actually have three. We got this little drop box, Avantone Mixcube. I have this as well as my home studio, and this guy really helps pick out what you hear in your vocals. Are they harsh? Are they just boxy sounding? So this thing sounds horrible from the jump, but if you can get something to sound right on this, it's going to translate a lot. And that I definitely can tell with bass harmonics. If the bass is, you know, loud but has no harmonics, you won't be able to hear it on this because it can only play like 200 hertz and up. It's mostly mid-range, only one driver. Fun fact, Michael Jackson's Thriller album was mostly mixed on these type of speakers. Not these ones, Avantone, but a different version of these basically. And then, I actually didn't go over monitor stands. These are the output monitor stands. These things are built extremely well, welded together, straight steel. And these are sitting on the isoacoustic pucks right here. And these guys really do help isolate. And these ones as well. I love these because you can angle them towards your ear. I don't know if you can see that little angle right there. So that's the majority of the gear. Then we got a LG, I believe it's a 30-something inch ultra wide monitor. And this thing's perfect for mixing. Got all your tracks laid out like that. I love how you can have a bunch of plugins loaded on one, and on the other you can have the console, or you can do whatever you want. So I love that monitor a lot. And of course it's on stand. You can push this guy out, move it front and back. So that's about the runabout on the desk. Of course we got the lights under the desk. And we got some other preamps here. We got the Cloud Lifter, works well with the SM7B, and we also have this guy, the Soyuz analog launcher. And this is an analog booster slash like saturator. Gives a vintage tone. You can definitely hear it when you plug it in. And with more mics than the SM7B, you can definitely hear it open up a little bit and add some warmth and saturation to it. For our mics, we got this guy here, Neumann. What is that? Neumann TLM 102. Great mic. This guy's really small but packs a huge punch. Oh yeah, and we got this also sidecar right here. also as well from output. Other mic we got in here is going to be the Shure SM7B legendary mic that almost everybody uses, and it's a workhorse that gets the job done almost no matter what. In the booth, got the GIK acoustic panels, and on the top we got a panel that I made a cloud to catch all the reflections. So going over the room, we got another cloud. All these panels are going to be GIK that we ordered from online, and they're pretty legit panels. They came in nicely packaged. Nothing was damaged, and they honestly sound great. Sounds really good in here. Now we got these diffusers that I made. They kill about 2,000 hertz is their main target. So I got them directly behind the speakers. So basically whatever hits back here is going to give you a little more spatial sound instead of just killing it. We're on the top floor. Give it theater. You got some plants, of course. Always got to have plants. And that's about it, honestly. It's the Guild Studio in Park, Sacramento.